What's up, guys? This is going to be the first installment in a series I'm going to call Let's Talk, because hopefully that's what we're going to achieve here. I'm going to present a topic, give my thoughts on the topic, and you respond, just so there's like an active, just not an active, I guess an active forum, I guess, but just to add a different perspective, a more kind of neutral perspective on things. And what I want to talk about today is the campers versus rushers debate. And first off, I want to say there is no superior. In my opinion, there's absolutely no superior. How you play a game, up until really like from to now, is going to be largely based upon your past gaming experience, what games you played, how you found success in those games, is going to carry over to, every game until you figure out, maybe this doesn't work, and you change it up as a constantly evolving thing. And, I myself, in some majority of the time, I am a more aggressive player. But in some circumstances, let me think. A game where I'm not with, people where I know how they play. Like, let's say Mercenary Team Deathmatch, or Free For All, or with people I'm just not really familiar with. I do take a more conservative role in how I play, and I am more cautious. I do move around, but I'm definitely not going to sit there and stare at a doorway and wait for somebody to run through, because that is just a completely ineffective way of playing. And so is just running around like a chicken with your head cut off, without any regard to what's going on, where anybody is. And in the extreme of both situations, that is just not a smart or successful way to play. Because you need both of those things, and then it's what you do with that information that really, it doesn't dictate how you play, but then that's basically what you put into the, the machine, I guess, and then your decisions are what come out. And, depending on playing experience, who you're playing with, it might be, you might choose to take in any given situation an aggressive tactic, or a passive tactic, and it depends on the game. It depends on your weapon and perks and what game you're playing. Different games offer different situations. Variable. It's all extremely open to interpretation. There we go. Couldn't get the word out. And like I said, I don't believe any one of them is superior, and it just depends on who you play with. Let's say, I play with more aggressively minded people, because for one, they're just more entertaining and fun to be around, honestly. Some people tend, like me, I don't, I will communicate what's going on in the game, but I don't really talk a whole lot, in game, as far as, just random conversation wise. But, we're, a successful aggressive team that, knows who they're playing with, knows, it's all about knowledge, honestly. And that's for both play styles. Both play styles are going to, aggressive more so than conservative as far as who they're playing with. But, if you know who is where, who's going to take down the air support, who's running the UAVs, who's running, I'm usually the guy that's, going to have the Blackbird, the chopper gunners, and the dogs. And, if you ever watch, Big Snacks or Jay-Eazy's videos, they've got a chopper gunner or a dog, but they've also got that, the lower, the napalm, which is a huge, advantage to any play style. The napalm is a fantastic kill streak. And, 3-4 times a game, they're calling in the napalm. They're putting the constant pressure on the other team We've got the guys rolling with the UAVs. We're constantly knowing where people are. We've got great communication as a team when we play, and that is more that brings us greater success than grabbing SMG and putting on our running shoes and running around hosing people in corners. And that works just as effectively for the conservative playstyle as well. And the more conservative players they're kind of like the lone wolves. They do well alone or with a small, going to a lobby with like one or two friends. They do excel in that. The games, if in a rushing team, the games are going to be quick. It's like domination where you need a set amount of points. But in a TDM game, those games are fast with a successful rushing team. And you're going to have the lower kill streaks just constant. It's going to be constantly things going on. But with the more conservative players, the games tend to be a little bit longer. There is the whole KD thing. If you're a good player and you are outsmarting, you are outmaneuvering, you are gunning down the enemy, you are going to have a high KD. More often than not, they do have a higher KD, but that just means they kill more than they die, and that could be a huge number, that could be a small number. Let's say you've got 5,000 kills and like 2,500 deaths. That's a 2.0 KD, and that's good. Depending on how far you are into a game, you could be a more aggressive player. Say you early on in the game you got high kills, high deaths. That's just how it goes. That comes with the territory, so to speak. And the more conservative players are going to have maybe a higher KD, but a lower amount of kills and a lower amount of deaths. And there are even with those two things that I just said. I mean, that to me, that's just what I've noticed. And you could be a conservative player, but then play a game for like a year. You're going to have a ridiculous amount of kills. You're going to have a high amount, not as a high amount of deaths as kills, but it just depends on if you are personally successful at your, not a chosen play style, but a lot of it is for both of them. A lot of them is wisdom. It's about past experience with games. I'm more aggressive because I come from a Halo, background. Like I played Halo most of my gaming life. It's the first Xbox game I ever played, and it was the first games I ever got addicted to. And then as far as like a game that I played slowly, it would be like Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, stuff like that. I played more conservatively, and it really just depends on the game. It depends on your loadout. It depends on whether you're sleepy or not. It depends on how you feel your reaction times are and things of that nature on how you are going to play. So, in my opinion, it's not, and I guess in conclusion, it is not whether which one is superior. It's going to be which team has better communication, which team knows where the other team is to get those kills, which team works better, which team is more organized. And you could be a passive team, you could be an aggressive team, but unless you are successful in those aspects, that goes for, if you watch an MLG team, a professional team that is playing for money, or a team that just likes to play competitively, that is what you are going to see. You're going to see communication, you're going to see identification and location of where the enemy team is, what they've got, what they're capable of, and that is what makes a successful team, not necessarily whether they move more or less than the other guy. So guys, give me some feedback on this. Let me know what you think. Put it in the comments. I want to know your opinion. I'm open to that. You know, you guys, as always, check out my Facebook and Twitter. And I just want to know what the community thinks. You know, it's pretty much clear who's a passive player and an aggressive player. But you know, everybody acts differently in different circumstances. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Hope you guys have a good day. I'm heading off to work. So until next time, peace.